The next item.
Okay, this one here is an ordinance adopting the formation, rules, procedures, and bylaws for the San County Local Homelessness Coordinating Committee. This is something that through this COVID-19 as committees have come about in coordination of efforts to make sure that everybody's taken care of. They had recognized, so the coordinating committee is called the Continuum of Care Local Homeless Coordinating Committee. And what this is each local homeless coordinating committee meets on a regular phone call with the state, with Pamela Atkinson. They go through and kind of discuss any homeless needs throughout the state that are present, especially with COVID. There's CARES Act funding that's available for these local homeless committees and anybody that is experiencing homelessness or who is about to experience it. So any loss of jobs, the possibility of loss of their home, there are rep programs and everything available. And during these committee meetings, they noticed that San Juan County wasn't represented. San Juan County, we don't have a local homeless coordinating committee, and we were supposed to have one set up. Whether it's just fallen through the cracks or whatever the case is. So they had reached out to me and asked, if we had anybody that can help represent and get things going. And so we just took it under our wings and ran with it. And so what this ordinance is creating the committee that will help coordinate these efforts and help steer it. Everything is already created by the state through state code. Kind of gives us the instruction of what the committee is supposed to be doing, how often they're supposed to meet, and kind of what they're supposed to be providing for the state. There's already, kind of like I had mentioned, there's already CARES Act funding that's been allocated, and our allocation goes through the Southeastern Association, and so they pretty much have the funds. They oversee the funds for us. They had also applied earlier this year for funding to help homelessness, but where we didn't have anybody here reporting, then they didn't add a lot for San Juan County. And so hopefully this coordinating committee will get us a system in place that we can help our public a little bit more. When I asked Southeastern Utah if they had anybody that was on their system that is reporting as homeless and receiving resources, and they had mentioned that there are a couple people that are receiving funding or assistance through their system. So we just want to make sure that we get it back down to the county level so that our citizens know that these resources are available. I reached out to the cities in Bluff, town of Bluff as well, to see if they are aware of any homelessness, people that are homeless or have that potential. And there were reports from some of our areas where we've had people that are living in cars underneath bridges who may be homeless, that we could then target these funds and these resources to help them. And I think more importantly, it also provides assistance, especially during the economic downturn that we're experiencing, closure of mines, things like that. If you have families in housing that need rental assistance or any type of assistance, that we can provide those programs and resources to them. So on here, this ordinance creates the committee itself. Some of the partnerships that I'd be looking at hopefully that we can get to come to the table with us on this with obviously the Southeastern Association, but San Juan Counseling, Division of Workforce Services. I don't know if there's a San Juan County Housing Authority. This may be taken care of by Southeastern Association of Local Governments, but a component of this is this committee's responsibility will be making sure they track our housing inventory throughout the county, and so that's why we have the San Juan County or a housing authority on there. We got San Juan Health, San Juan Public Health, Utah Navajo Health, the school district, the sheriff department, any faith-based organization that's out there that we can get a hold of. A lot of services can come through them as well. City of Blanding, City of Monticello, Town of Bluff. I have one of the commissioner on here, and then county staff as well to be part of this membership for this committee. Other than that, I think that kind of summarized everything. The rest of the ordinance kind of sets up their meetings. The first meeting, if we can get this committee rolling, would be August 4th, and then the next one would be October 6th. But a lot of it is just getting the membership together, getting the committee organized, and then doing the evaluations and the assessments to determine what our local needs are, and then reporting that to the state so that we can start to get the assistance, the appropriate assistance that we need, as well as letting our residents know that this is out there. I also asked the state of Utah, well, does this apply to the Navajo Nation? They had mentioned that the Navajo Nation has their own system. This is funded through HUD, similar to their CDBG program. And so the Navajo Nation has their program. The state of Utah, San Juan County portion has to have their separate programming as well on here. But I did want to make sure that we had a bridge between the Navajo Nation and this committee, and so that's why I have the Navajo health system, the Utah Navajo health system on here, because I think they'll be a good bridge if we do find an individual that's homeless that's part of the Navajo Nation. Then hopefully through that bridge we'll be able to redirect them back to the resources that are available through the Navajo Nation instead of stepping on anybody's toes. And so hopefully, commissioners, that's a good explanation. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. A motion? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Going to what? Motion by Commissioner Grayeyes.
Adopting the formation rules, procedure, and bylaw for the San Juan County Local Homeless Coordinating Committee. As I understand, the committee has to be considered later, right?
Yeah, so I'll bring this back to you with all the members back to the commission for final approval of all committee members.
Do I have a second?
Make a motion to approve.
Perfect. No comments, questions? Asking a question for a call for the questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Item F.
Okay, the last one is I had reported to you a little bit earlier that we had received a grant, a part of the CARES Act and the FAA for the Cal Black Airport, where we received $20,000 that can be used for operation and maintenance. There are definitely items that our Cal Black Airport can use maintenance item. They've got some leaky toilets out there, a leaky roof, a light that our airport light that wasn't rotating, a couple doors that needed to be replaced. Their vehicle that the county provides them, we think that vehicle has some damage to the block or something that's overheating, and so there's definitely areas that are where this $20,000 can go towards. So what I have here is just the grant sponsor request form signature page. It does require, where it's $20,000, it exceeds my limit of approval and signature authority. So I'm bringing this to you for commissioners to be able to utilize your stamp on this sponsor signature block so that we can finalize the signature for this grant.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Adams and second by Commissioner Gray Eyes. Questions, comments? There be none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much there, Commissioners. That's all of the items that I see on the agenda. And since we've been doing a conference call, there's not a whole lot to report as far as I know, besides going out and giving out food and stuff like that, unless if you commissioners like to make a report. If there be none, motion for adjournment maybe.
I have several meetings every week on the internet. Tomorrow, or Thursday, I'll be having a CIB meeting. Friday, I have a USIP governance meeting. I've met with the Utah Association of Counties several times over these electronic meetings. I really don't have anything to report other than the fact that I've been attending these meetings on a regular basis and interacting with the state legislature during their special session, and they're going to have another one, I think, in the middle of this month. But I have been attending a number of meetings electronically.
Good, good.
Chair. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to pose a question to Mr. McDonald regarding the what we choose on the road levy. Is that the final approval to open up the project maintenance of roads?
So for the Navajo Nation, the school bus routes, is that one that you're referring to, Commissioner?
Yes.
Yeah, so you did ratify that agreement a couple meetings ago. I've requested from the state of Utah to add those roads to the state of Utah B road map, and that should come through here this month. I reached out and got a price of kind of what we would think costs could be, and I need to meet with you and the chairman for Navajo Mountain chapter to see what we can do to contract for the maintenance up there with you and Hank on that one. And so we should be up and going and ready.
I had one person that was interested, had a license, and probably recontact him then later.
Okay.
He also mentioned that the training was going to be available for anyone that is interested.
Okay.
I don't know how long that the length of the training.
It'll be a couple of weeks on training, and we can help provide the training on there as well. And so let me get with you and Hank, and let's discuss a contract
Okay.
from the.
Well, the reason why I'm posing that question is that we have a dirt road across from Navajo Mountain down the canyon to Paiute Mesa. Currently, there is no maintenance provided, nothing. And emergency assisted food and whatever delivery is being done. And it takes probably about an hour to get over 15 or 13 mile stretch of road to deliver those services. And people are about to wring my neck on it and say, what is happening?
Okay.
And one thing is that we have stressed or expressed those concerns to Navajo INDOT before, when they allocated only 15 miles per chapter per year, something like that. And I was saying, they limited these to that amount of miles per year. But when people go to purchase gasoline, that's coming out the fuel excise tax money that they're using. And people, they go purchase the gasoline, they don't say, oh, I'm going to just proportionate. I don't have to go to 18 cents or something like that. So, the rationale is not comparable.
Yeah.
Between the service delivery and what Navajo public contributes to the pot. And that's the reason why. The other thing is the cruising. Yeah, I've driven that area, and I've noticed that one of the rail across on the has been missing. I actually ran over it and then boom, hit my tires like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So take a look at the pictures.
Okay.
I don't know if the pictures show up in your, but one of the rails is missing.
Yeah.
Right between, you can't miss it, going or coming or going. So.
And that's the Goldings. That's that Goldings cattle guard.
Right.
Yeah, I'd seen that picture. I'd seen where it's missing that. It's got a big gap in there. And so
Yeah.
I'll be working on that
And
one.
then,
And I sent you I sent you an email response on that. And so let me see what I can get
Yeah.
going on that one.
right. Okay. Other than that, we're just doing what we're doing, addressing the health organization or health orders. And next week, on the 13th, we'll be on the Andy Day Field Ground distributing food supplies and whatnot. So, well, I don't know how the St. Mary's food bank is coming to town on that day, so we'll be helping out with that all day long, I presume.
Okay.
So that's about it, and hopefully it's good. Everybody's fine, and seems like no end to the storm yet.
I know. That's the hard part.
Kenneth,
Thank you.
Reports, Commissioner.
Kenneth, I have one more thing to add to my report.
Okay.
We got a check from the state this week, on our request for assistance for legal funds from the Constitutional Defense Council. We got a check for $180,000, which was when they plugged our request into the formula, that's what we were eligible to receive. And with the help of Lieutenant Governor Cox, we were able to get that money, and we have received it in the county.
Great.
Okay. Woody?
Now we need to start some kind of a campaign again for other shortfalls.
We do, that's for sure.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioners. I don't have a whole lot to report besides dispersing the food and items, and we seem to be still struggling to get through some red tape with FEMA and also from the CDC. On top of that, the management office from the Navajo Nation is giving orders to the chapters and officials to have certain training, 100 and 300, I believe it was. And also they put some restriction to donations and stuff like that until they get everything all in line before we start dispersing items again. So with that, other than that, just local community funerals, I haven't been to either one of them, but we've been assisting on some red tapes, burial sites, and stuff like that. We've just been pretty busy. Other than that, I learned how to make yeast bread, so I'm pretty good yeast bread maker. So when we get back in meetings, I'll make some bread for all of you.
Perfect.
That's the extent of my report.
Okay, I'd like to add one other item. Maybe when somebody gets on the phone conference again with the Navajo Nation, the Navajo Nation has established a station area in Kienta, and we are requesting assistance from the state of Utah. And they want to go ahead and recommend to unload our assistant items in Kienta, which will be originally, when it's shipped out, they're going to be sanitized, disinfected. When it's safe and stop in stationary in Kienta, again, the application would be done. It's time consuming. The need is immediate. We request that a direct delivery to Navajo Mountain be considered positively rather than going to the Navajo station and the protocols. Kenneth, can you voice that somewhere in your communicate with the Navajo Nation Command Center?
Yes, I will. They're getting very, very restrict every time. It seems like every week the numbers are climbing, and they're trying to eliminate certain protocols to getting very strict to that. But I will bring that up, and we'll see what happens from there. But so far, Naz is he's open to all the recommendations and comments.
Commissioner,
I think, the San Juan County, Navajo Mountain, Danahoso, and Mexican Water are the ones that are being hit pretty hard. Monument Valley seems to have some relief program, and there's some movie companies and even some movie stars themselves are starting to donate food and some supplies. For Red Mesa, Anna, and T. Bus, the hay, food, wood, and all these other things are being donated by the Elks Petroleum and some other companies. But Navajo Mountain, Mexican Water, and Danahoso, nothing. There's no donations besides what the chapter coordinators are doing. So we'll keep on knocking on the wood and see what happens.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Commissioner Gray,
Right.
I'll report that up to the Utah Emergency Operations Center as well, so that the coordinator with the Navajo Nation will also, she can also express that desire as well.
With that, motion to adjourn would be in order, Commissioners.
Motion?
Motion by Commissioner Gray, aye, to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any questions or comment on the adjournment? If there be none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And thank you very much for all the listeners and the viewing audience to participate in our commissioners meeting. We're very sorry that we're only meeting on electronic, and I don't know how long this is going to be, but please keep up your prayers to help us out that this pandemic lift, and maybe the Heavenly Fathers and holy people and every spiritual avenue will look our way to lift this pandemic so we can move on normally again. So have a good afternoon and take care of yourselves and look over one another. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah, thank you. Have fun.